If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Arne Slot defends Luis Diaz transfer and claims everyone has forgotten about Liverpool signing. The Liverpool head coach has pointed to Luis Diaz's departure last summer to justify the club's transfer strategy, but he feels criticism of that sale is misguided. Arne Slot feels the debate around whether Liverpool misses Luis Diaz this season has been exacerbated by the ongoing absence of Alexander Isak. The Red striker has endured a difficult first campaign at Anfield, which has seen him start just 6 Premier League matches and fail to complete a full 90 minutes since his record-breaking arrival from Newcastle United last summer. Isak has not played since December after suffering a broken leg and scoring what proved to be the winning goal against Tottenham Hotspur, but is expected back in the coming months. The Reds have recently found some fluency in attack, but Liverpool's inability to create and score chances was criticised earlier this season. Given Luis Diaz's attacking returns during his time on Merseyside, there have also been accusations from several pundits that Liverpool was mistaken to sell the Colombian last summer. However, despite managing 32 goal contributions at Bayern Munich this season, it's a decision Slot stands by. "You always miss good football players. He was so important for us last season, but he wasn't the only one," opined the Liverpool head coach ahead of Wednesday's trip to Sunderland. "It is maybe more fair to say that if Alex had been fit, would we have spoken about it then as well?" Diaz was sold to Bayern for a fee of €75 million, $88m/£66m, an offer Liverpool felt it could not turn down for a 28-year-old, who had 2 years remaining on his contract and was demanding a significant pay raise to remain at Anfield. Liverpool was unwilling to sanction that increase and felt a transfer to Bayern was in everyone's best interest when the German champions made their interest known. Luis Diaz is another example of how this club is run. If this club gets, for a 28-year-old, an offer like that, then this club, because it is built on sustainability, chooses to sell a player, and we are an exception in the Premier League, especially at the top of the Premier League, for that, said Slot. But that is why it is also so nice that we are able to achieve the things we have achieved in the last few years with that model. But he is doing very well at Bayern, and that is not a surprise to me. Exclusive, Michael Owen claims everyone is overlooking one huge reason for Liverpool decline. The ex-Liverpool striker said that amid all the talk of Arne Slot, tactics and transfer, the discussion about the Reds' decline has not focused on one specific problem. Michael Owen feels that not enough has been made of Liverpool's changes in the wide areas of the pitch this season, and believes it partly explains the Reds' downturn in form. Liverpool made wholesale alterations to its squad last summer, with several members of Arne Slot's title-winning team replaced. That is certainly the case at fullback, with Trent Alexander-Arnold choosing to move on and Liverpool also opting to sign Milos Kerkez, who has ousted the long-serving Andy Robertson at left-back. Luis Diaz also joined Bayern Munich, and while Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo have remained, their form has notably dipped. Speaking exclusively to Liverpool.com, Owen said the downgrades in all 4 positions have been a major problem for a Liverpool side that is currently sitting 6th in the table. If you look at the 4 corners of the pitch, we've had Trent and Robbo at fullback. They were the best fullbacks as a combination in world football for 5-6 years on the spin, said Owen, who is now the UK ambassador for the online casino comparison site Casino.org. So, no matter what you get, let's hope that you buy well, but no matter what, there's a weaker situation in the fullback area because of that. You look at the 4 corners of the pitch, the 2 fullbacks and 2 wide players. Last season we had Diaz there, who was exceptional. He wanted to go, no problem at all, that's life, that's what it's all about. Gakpo, I like him, he's scored a lot of important goals. And then you've got Salah, who was obviously a guarantee for 30 goals for the last load of years. There's no question about it, he's dropped off this season. His numbers are way down. So you look at the 4 corners of the pitch and straight away, we're in a negative position before you even start, Owen added. And that's before you start thinking about finding a new position really on the pitch for Florian Wirtz. Now we paid so much money for him, we're going to have to possibly go through the pain of letting him find his feet, giving him time. So there's 5 things straight away. There's half your team, before you even start, is weaker. Now that's not to say it will be weaker in the long run. Liverpool have bought young players, so in theory it's going to get better. Owen is particularly hopeful that one of Liverpool's summer recruits could prove to be a shrewd investment. "You've got Ekatike, who I genuinely think could be the best centre-forward in the world in 2-3 years, bar maybe Kylian Mbappe," said the ex-striker. "I think he's that good. I think that he is the real deal." Alexander Isak is obviously going to come back as well. "You can't turn your nose up at someone of his quality, so things are going to get better. I'm convinced of it." Arne Slot responds to questions over Liverpool future amid Champions League uncertainty. "Only thing I know." Arne Slot has been discussing what could happen if his Liverpool side fail to qualify for next season's Champions League. Arne Slot believes his Liverpool future won't be determined solely by Champions League qualification, despite admitting this season will only be acceptable if a return to the competition is assured. The Reds face a difficult task retaining their place among Europe's elite after Sunday's 2-1 home defeat to Manchester City cut them adrift of the top four and a guaranteed berth. Slot's side have now won only 6 of their last 20 Premier League matches and head to Sunderland on Wednesday, having claimed just 1 victory in 7 top-flight games since the turn of the year. His predecessor Jurgen Klopp twice missed out on a Champions League spot during his 9-year tenure, although Liverpool made an immediate return the following campaign. With 5th place likely to be sufficient for qualification given England are in pole position to again be awarded an extra berth this season, the Reds will have to reel in one of Aston Villa, Manchester United or Chelsea. And asked if qualification was directly linked to prospects of keeping his job in the Anfield hot seat, Slot pointed to the Reds' recent history and the fact there have been several extenuating factors behind the champions' disappointing defense of their record-equaling 20th title. "That is a difficult question for me to answer because I don't decide on my future," he said. "The only thing I do know is that it happened before and recently and it didn't affect the future of that manager. But that doesn't guarantee anything, of course. In general, managers, especially at this club, maybe somewhere else, it is not only about results. Mainly, but not only. At some clubs they also look at the progress the players make, the progress the team makes, the circumstances are sometimes taken into account. That is not at all clubs, but I think I am working at a club that does look at those things, as it has shown in the past when the club did not qualify for the Champions League." Speaking earlier on Tuesday, Slot had said, "If we don't have Champions League football, it has definitely not been an acceptable season." The Reds' boss, though, has stopped short of regarding qualification from Liverpool's current position as one of his greatest managerial achievements given the myriad of on- and off-field issues with which he has had to contend during the past 9 months. "That's a difficult one because if I say yes then I can already see the headlines. Arne Slot thinks he's had a good season if he's going to the Champions League," he said. "It's important to know what is whatever else that has happened, because if you talk about whatever else we could come up with 6 or 7 things. I'm not sure everyone is always aware of all these things. I think you've noticed I'm not standing here and coming out with all these excuses. But the maximum we can achieve right now is qualifying for the Champions League, and that's always what we aim for, to achieve the maximum possible at this moment in time. It wasn't the maximum possible at the start of the season, but at this moment of time it is the maximum we can achieve." When Liverpool last had a season without Champions League football in 2023-24, the following summer they signed only Federico Chiesa, although there was a failed effort to lure Martin Zubimendi to Anfield after agreeing to pay £51 million to Real Sociedad. And asked if another failure to qualify could impact the Reds' summer rebuilding plans, despite having already committed £60 million to signing 20-year-old centre-back Jeremy Jacquet from Rennes, Slot said, "I don't think I am the right person to ask that question because we are positive people over here and we don't talk about scenarios yet about what happens if we don't do this, we don't do this, we don't do this. So these conversations have maybe taken place but not with me involved, so I cannot give you that answer on how much that would impact our summer. What I can say is that in general this club has a certain model that we don't spend money that we don't have. Sunderland has 2 players missing versus Liverpool, but new $20 million signing is ready. Sunderland will continue to be without Granit Xhaka and Bertrand Traoré for Wednesday's clash at home to Liverpool, but head coach Regis Lubris is ready to unleash their new star. Liverpool travels to Sunderland on Wednesday night, but the hosts have just 2 absentees from the squad compared to Arne Slot's current roster headache. Sunderland hosts Liverpool at the Stadium of Light, and the visitors have 5 players missing for the Premier League clash. Along with long-term injuries, Dominik Szoboszlai picked up a straight red card against Manchester City on Sunday and will be suspended. While Joe Gomez could return to the side, Liverpool has an injury crisis in defense, and Sunderland hasn't lost at home this season. Still, Sunderland will face Liverpool without captain Granit Xhaka, and Bertrand Traoré is also out. Sunderland is enjoying a strong first season back in the Premier League, sitting ninth in the standings, just 3 points behind Liverpool. Arsenal beat Sunderland 3-0 on Saturday, but the newly promoted side has no new injury problems. Xhaka has been out for roughly 3 weeks, but hopes to return in the near future. Traoré, who once featured in a 7-2 win for Aston Villa against Liverpool, has been sidelined for close to 1 month. Traoré played at the Africa Cup of Nations with Burkina Faso, but has been injured since participating in the tournament in Morocco. Sunderland head coach Régis Le Bris spoke about Traoré's status ahead of Wednesday's game. "He's in the same dynamic, similar to Granit, almost 3 weeks, something like that," Le Bris said. "So it's always symptom-driven, but they are both in a good place. So hopefully we'll have good news in a few weeks." Bertrand suffered an important knee injury and played with his national team in the second half, I think. "I don't remember the opponent, and when he came back here in Sunderland, the diagnosis was that you need to rest and you need to take care of your knee if you want to have a stable knee for the end of the season and for his career as well. So we didn't rush the process, and we took care of him just to make sure that he's ready to play." However, Noah Siddiqui was withdrawn during the second half of the 3-0 defeat to Arsenal with an injury concern, but Le Bris said that he will be good to face Liverpool. New $20 million signing Nilson Angulo made his debut off the bench against Arsenal. "Nilson is ready to play. He has trained with us and played a lot of football this year at a good level," Le Bris said of the new signing. Le Bris expects a tough battle against Liverpool and believes that, despite recent results, the Premier League champions have improved. "I think they are getting better and they are strong," Le Bris said. "They have a few injuries, but their manager is really good. They are Liverpool and it's a must-win for them once again, so it will be a tough challenge. So it's an exciting challenge for us, but a tough one."